All right, all right, all right.
Hi, my beautiful sister.
Hi, sister. I need to
How-
get can you hear me okay? I need to get, daughter, can you give me my AirPods?
I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
Okay, yes, I can hear you
All
just
right. I
fine.
was trying to look cute with these earrings. Are they loud?
No,
Because
you
they're
look
like,
good. No,
I,
not at all.
all right, because I'm trying to look cute here, but these damn, like,
I know they always get in the way.
but I need them because
Put
I
that
have,
one around it so you can see your earring. Yeah, put that behind it. See if you can put that. No, put it on.
oh,
Yeah, and then like move the cord behind. Oh, I don't. It can't. Okay.
we can give it a whirl. Yeah, no. Anyways, it is what it is.
How are you, my sister?
I am good. I am good. Today is a great day. Oh my God. Today is a good day. You know, there's so many ups and downs. So today is a good day, and I'm so glad to connect with you.
Yes. Well, for those that don't know, this is my sister from another mister. This is Miss Arika
Yes.
Kane. And she is, let me tell y'all, because if you don't know who she is by sight, then you know who she is. Not only is she a Billboard topping singer, songwriter, producer, but her songs have been on some of your favorite MTV shows, VH1 shows like Love and Basketball and Hollywood Exes and so many more. We're going to talk about that. But she also has her amazing songs, which we'll talk about. I'm a friend, but I'm a fan and I'm a lover of Arika Kane, not just her music. So hopefully, to some of you, I will introduce, and for some of you, I will reintroduce or just show you who this woman is. And she's more than just a talented singer, songwriter, and producer. She's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful soul.
Thank
She
you.
is my sister, Arika Kane.
Yes,
So
that
you
was
said
beautiful.
you're welcome. So you said it was a beautiful day today. Tell me why.
Whew. Well, I'll try to give the short version. Just
Oh, first, before we start, do you have
yeah.
your tea? Before we start, do you have your tea?
Okay, so I had to improvise.
I was just so happy to see you. I
I
was like,
know.
wait.
I know. I had to improvise because I was in the sun this morning, so I'm kind of hot inside. So, and I'm not a fan of
Hmm.
iced tea. So I have some strawberry lemonade. So this is my, favorite drink because it's cooling me down. So I improvised a little, but that's
Okay,
okay.
and that is perfectly.
Yeah.
So I'm probably
So,
the only oddball who drinks hot tea when it's hot.
a lot of people do. I was just in the sun this morning and oh, it felt so good. And I'm still warm inside and I'm like, I don't think I could do the tea.
And
But
look,
we
here
can do
I
the
am right
tea.
here.
But oh, good mug. Good mug. I like that.
I got this. I spoke at an event in California, and it was a queen fit for the king, meaning God. So
Mm.
she had mugs with our faces on it, which I thought was pretty dope for the
Yeah, that
event.
is
So I'm like looking at my face, but
that's perfect. That's perfect. Nice.
Thank
So
you.
I have to tell you, before we get into anything, I know we text often, but just face to face, like congratulations on kicking cancer's butt and just the way you're recovering and you're just like glowing and you're pushing and you're so motivated and determined and it's so beautiful to see. So just want to say congratulations from face to face, you know?
Thank you so much. And I did share it with you, and you were like, "What?" And you're
Yeah.
always just so sweet and so encouraging. And just, I tell you this all the time, but you're like a ray of light. And your energy and your
Thank you.
vibrations and just your sweetness. People don't have
Thank
that
you.
genuine, you're welcome sweetness anymore, that you really, it's genuine, and the joy that you have in your heart and living from your heart. And we'll talk about that. But it's just, I appreciate you. I appreciate you so very much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's my pleasure. I can only live from what's in here. So
Yeah. and
Yeah.
it's pure. And I love it. I love it. But I know
Yes, my dear.
I cut you off with because talking about the tea because I was so excited to see you. But you were telling me why
Yeah.
today was a good day.
So I I've had I'm trying not to, I don't want to take up this whole conversation, but
This
let's
is
just,
about you. So talk as long as
well,
you like.
okay, so I had a really deep purging healing last night, like releasing of emotions. And I'm just so grateful because I feel so much lighter, like I would love to talk about the power of healing all day long because it's like, it's so powerful. And like our emotions are, they tell us things, they communicate with our bodies. And when we're not feeling good physically, it means there's something deep in there that needs to come out and be seen and acknowledged. And so I've kind of been doing a lot of that inner work the past few years. And it started in 2014 after I released my album Through the Veil. I got into a pretty bad car accident. And it's only because of God that I made it out of it. I don't know how I did. My car was totaled. I don't like, it was a miracle. But it traumatized me so much that because I was like, it was like a freak accident. Like I kind of blacked out because of the impact, and I was completely not in control of the situation. And I have like deep phobias about not being in control. So it really opened up this like stressful, you know how they call the stress hormone, like the survival part of your brain, like the fight or flight hormone, they call it. I forget the scientific term, but
Yeah.
it basically opened that door up, and I became scared of everything. It opened up the door to phobia after phobia of everything. Like, I'm scared to drive at night now. I'm scared to, what if this could happen? What if I go to the store and what if, like I'm scared. Like it made me scared of so many things. And I used to be fearless, like, you know what I mean? And so I've had, at the same time, it opened up these wounds. It also opened up my gifts. It opened up, like my intuition got stronger. Being my empathic abilities got stronger. Like I can feel people's energies, and I can like, know when to help. So if somebody needs like support, or like I can feel people's energies, and so it awakened my gifts in a way, but it also awakened the wounds. And I just came to this realization last night, and like it was just really profound. And I took this course called Theta Healing. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
I have heard of that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, cool.
Yeah. I don't know much about it, but I've heard of Theta Healing.
Yeah. So, well, the meat of the healing is really digging, like deep dive digging into your emotions. So, for example, this happens pretty much with most of humanity. If from children to elders, all the way through, depending on what your life experience is, when we cry about something, usually it's something that triggers us to cry, but it's really something way, way deeper than what triggered the crying, right?
Yeah.
So the triggers are really gifts because they're opening that wound that needs to be released. And so Theta Healing is pretty much digging all the way down to the core of, you know, like say if you're scared to do something, you start digging, well, why are you scared? And then you come up, you dig into that, like, oh, I'm scared because I don't trust people, or I don't trust God, or I don't trust, why don't you trust God, or why don't you trust people? And then you come to a memory, like, what happened to you that made you think that? And then you go, it's like a deep dive into the core, like, root belief.
Yeah.
And so last night I found myself doing that. I don't know if it was the eclipse energies or but the full moon reveals everything. Like, it's so, it's a celestial body, and it moves the tides and the oceans. So it works it really does illuminate our emotions. And, I did some deep diving last night, and, I'm just so grateful. I released a lot of emotions. And so it came back to the beginning of 2014, when that whole chapter of my life, that new chapter of my life started. So that's why I say it was so deep. And so I feel really good today, because, we got to move the emotions. We have to,
Yeah.
we have to do this. We have to do this healing. Like, don't be like, if something silly makes you cry, it's not the something silly. Like, it's a lot deeper. We've all had traumatic experiences. We've all had something that, many things, even small things, like when you're young, like being told not to be who you are. I mean, the list goes on and on, but so that's the long and short story. At the same time, I'm just feeling really good and grateful and blessed that this stuff came up to be revealed, and I could clear it and move through it, and really have an awareness and see it. And I feel lighter. So
And you know what?
we can't be afraid to cry. I'm sorry.
No, no, you're fine. And I'm glad, and thank you so much for sharing that, because that happens to so many people. People, you go through traumatic experiences, and then sometimes you kind of hold it. You don't know that you're holding it. You're holding it. You're holding it in your body. And then, in the weirdest way, or the most precious way, I should say, you begin to release it by crying. And sometimes you don't know why you're crying, and you might think you're crying, like you said, for one reason or another, but it might be something totally different. And it is cleansing, and it is healing, to cry and to let all of those toxins out and let all of those emotions out. Why do you feel that sometimes so many people want to hold on to those emotions and be strong? And I'm asking you that because May is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Mm.
And I love people to be aware of their mental health. But why do you think so many people just hold on to emotions like, I got it, I'm good, and they're really not good, and they don't even know that they're not good? Why do you think people do
Yeah.
that?
Well, I think it's because it's a deep collective programming, of be strong, be tough. You just have to push through everything. Like, that's just what you do. That's what your ancestor did. And the farther you go back, that's what, the stronger and tougher, they were. So it
Mm-hmm.
trickles down into generations. And I think now we're kind of in a new place in history where we all need healing, like,
Mm-hmm.
for our entire lineage, and for our ancestors, and those who didn't have the time to heal because they were trying to stay alive. Like, I feel like we are at that place where there's just deep healing available for us, and for our lineage, and for our ancestors, for the collective. And so I think it's hard to deprogram from that, because your mom or your grandmother is just like, no, I taught you to be strong, and you got to push through
Yeah,
it.
you push through.
And then there's the younger the generations come in, they're more and more sensitive. You notice that? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
they're more in touch with, you know they're not scared to cry, they're not scared to feel. And it's almost as if a shift is happening. And I mean, children are always teachers, but it's almost as if there's like a new way of being that's coming into our earth. Like there's a shift of that. But I think that's the reason why.
Yeah. Robert says crying is nothing to be ashamed of. Absolutely, it's not. And I'll cry anywhere at any time, and I don't have a problem with it. I'm not going to hold my emotions hostage for anybody. I'm not going to save a tear for anybody. If that's what happens, then that's what happens, whether it's happy or a sad tear. I'm going to show it. And so many people they
Yeah.
suffocate their emotions and their feelings, and like you said, to suck it up or push through. And I'm glad people now are talking about mental health and talking about healing. As a life coach, as a woman, not just as a meditation practitioner, it makes me so happy that people are now just becoming one with themselves and their feelings, and they don't care like
Yeah.
who knows it. It's not a thing now where you got to be strong. You got to show people how strong you are and just push through. Like sometimes you just don't want to push through. You want to stay in that moment and feel what you feel. And it's okay to feel what you feel. And I had an elder in
Yeah.
my family one time say, well, those are just your feelings. They're not real. And I was like, hold up, my feelings are real.
Yeah.
But like you said, each generation is different. In that generation, you had no time for the feelings. You know what I mean? You
Mm-hmm.
just had to get to whatever it was. You didn't have time for the feelings. So when she said that to me, I was like, look, lady, these are my
Yeah.
feelings and they are real.
Yeah.
But I'm just so glad that you are who you are. You are in touch with your feelings, and I think that's where the light comes from you, because you're an empath and you feel what other people are feeling as well, and not just yourself. So when you're that way, you're able to be kinder to people because you're empathetic to people. And I think a lot of people are not empathetic. You don't have to be an empath to be empathetic.
Mm-hmm.
But some people are just not compassionate and empathetic anymore. A lot of people are hardened by life, you know?
Yeah. They're hurt people hurt people. It comes back to that because the more you hold in the pain and you don't want to feel it and deal with it, the harder you become, on the outside. And the more to be honest, you become selfish because,
Mm-hmm.
you're not concerned with what other people feel. You're too busy hiding your feelings, right?
Yeah.
Like, leave me alone. I got stuff to do because I noticed that with people who are always, always, always busy. Like
Mm-hmm.
I have a good friend who's like that. She never stops for nothing. Like boom, boom, boom. Like there's never a moment, and so usually, I'm not saying everybody's like that, but I do notice that when you're busy trying to hide the feelings, you tend to get more selfish because you're not focused on everybody else.
Yeah.
When the deeper you feel, the more compassion you have
Yeah.
for everybody else. Yeah.
And that's so powerful. The deeper you feel, the more compassion you have for others. I love that. Because it's so true. It is so
Yeah.
true. And so tell me how a person like I know, but some people may not know, how does a person like you, who has a heart like you and who's very in touch with their feelings and emotion, how does that work in this doggy dog world of the entertainment business, the music business? Because you've been in this business for a long time and you have been very successful, and people know and love you. They love Arika Kane. And I'll just tell the story real quick. Arika, also, because this is a different kind of vibe, different type of interview, but you can check out my YouTube channel, Kendéll Lenice Live. We talk a lot about the music industry, and just search for that and go over to my YouTube page and see that interview I did with Arika. But I was first introduced to Arika from VH1's Love and Hip Hop, the very first Love and Hip Hop, the
Hmm.
first of the franchise, the first season. And Here With Me came on. And I was like, who is that soft, sweet voice? You know, with Samaya in the bedroom, and they
Oh
played the
yeah, yep.
song. And I was like, who is that? And I loved the song from then. And then I loved the video you had to do with the locks in the video. I think
Mhm.
I had locks at that time. I was like, who is this chick? Who's this white chick?
Mhm. Yeah.
Singing like that. And
Mhm.
then later I discover it's Arika Kane. And then I fell in love at that point, and then you and I personally connected. Girl, that's been like over 10 years ago.
I
It's
know.
been
It's
it's been a
wild.
long time. And then on Twitter, I remember them saying, "Do you want to be an ambassador for Arika Kane? Because you ride
Mhm.
for her, you really, love her." And then of
Yes.
course it started with the music, and then I started to love her as her and her person, and we just clicked from there. But how did you get discovered? And also, did you have a problem singing soul music and R&B because you look the way you do?
Did others have a problem?
Well, I
Wait,
know
say that
you
again.
didn't have a problem.
Sorry.
Well, I
Okay.
know you didn't have a problem.
Okay.
How did others perceive you? Because it was coming from your heart and coming from your soul. But how did others
Yes.
perceive you? Because I know you've had difficulty in the business singing the music that you sing.
Yes. So, basically it was, well, there's different aspects of it. It's really interesting. Um, Everybody with a good heart basically, loved it because they could recognize, real hearts recognize real hearts. It's just what it is. Like
Yeah.
soul is soul, heart is heart. And so from that standpoint, it was beautiful. From the standpoint of people inside the industry, some loved it, and wanted to get involved or see how they could work with me and my label. And then, some in the industry had, was really, really pissed off about it, like angry, mad, like, who does she think she is, singing black music. And, there were podcasts about me, like, like Arika Kane is dangerous to black music. And I mean, it went on and on. And I'm just like, what do you mean? Like, we're all here to spread love. Like, there's room for everybody, And so it hurt. Um, but going back to your question right before that, to connect it, um, when I first got in the music business, I was, like I was saying, I was fearless. Like, I did everything from my heart, but I didn't have the sensitivity. I wasn't sensitive to everything. I wasn't like, I didn't have anxiety. I didn't have all these things that, ended up coming through for me. But I think that's why, like, I had really thick skin in the beginning. And um, I was just, I don't know, I was just a different person. And I think I needed to be that person then for, those types of things in the music business, and all the obstacles. Like, I wasn't ready to be cracked open yet. I needed to go through the deep dark shadows of the entertainment business, with my full armor on.
Yeah.
And then once I was in there, it was like, whatever, everything else that needed to come through from my journey was like, okay, she's good, now it's a new level of your life. And then I was cracked open into this whole new journey. But so I think that's the reason I was cool with it, because I was just like, I was so focused and determined, and like nothing could stop. I had tunnel vision. And so I mean, it hurt, when people didn't embrace me. But I realized it was more of the industry, and the industry has
Yeah.
their own agenda, like, no matter what, because there were also people in the industry that wanted me to do, pop, like Britney Spears, pop
Mm-hmm.
type music, because they could make more money off of that. So there's
Yeah.
there's different aspects to it. So, but once I learned about the music, like the agendas in the business, I knew about the agendas in the business. Like I knew what the agendas were and how it was separate from my purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. So you were able to push through, but like you said, uh, you were built for that then. Your skin was tougher. You hadn't begun, I don't want to say begun your spiritual journey yet, but it wasn't to the place where it is now. So you were ready
Correct.
to deal with that. And I remember you telling me before that it was a whole podcast slamming you and
Mm-hmm.
saying that you were a detriment to Black music. Now, we already know the history, of music, and a lot of people know that um, they used to have something called Blue Eye Soul, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where they had all, the white artists. You didn't know that they were even white artists. They were singing. I always talk about Lisa
Mm-hmm.
Stansfield. And I was like, hold up, when you first heard about it, or you got Simply Red, or who didn't love Hall and Oates, and so on and
Mm.
so on and so on. There's so many. Boy George Michael. I mean, I can go on and on because, I'm a woman of a certain age. And in the 80s, I would
Yeah.
always tell people, um, music then didn't really have a color per se, because when I was growing up
Mm-hmm.
on the radio, I was listening to Olivia Newton-John, I was listening to Bonnie Raitt,
Yeah.
I was listening to a lot of I used to watch Barbara Mandrell and the Mandrell sisters. No, they weren't soul at all. They were totally country. But it was never a thing of, you're watching that white show. You hear people say white music, but even in
Mm-hmm.
where I grew up, like, we all loved Been Around the World and I. You know what I'm saying? It was never a thing. And I know back in the day with Black artists, they would put no face or a white person's face, or a bunch of lilies in the park, instead of showing that it was a Black artist. And I know on the flip side, they used to do that with white artists singing R&B
Mm-hmm.
music, so you couldn't tell. So you can really just get to what was important, and that was the music and singing from your soul. Now, I always tell you, one of my favorite artists, and I hate saying it because just you're white and she's white. I don't want to make it seem like it's just because of that. But I always say that you remind me of a young Tina Marie. You had a selfie, that selfie that you had in the car. And I was like, it just reminds me. Now, a lot of people, if you're not old enough, how Tina Marie looked when she passed away in recent years. But I remember when she came out and she was the young Tina Marie, and I remember her doing footage, just a lot of photography and a lot of footage that she had. And certain
Mm-hmm.
ways that I look at you, you remind me of a young Tina Marie. You just do. It's something about you. Am I the only one that says that to you, or do you get that often?
Often, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Often, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
And her,
it's true.
not Lisa Stans, not every, just her, yeah. So,
Right.
mm-hmm.
Exactly. Because there are a lot, but it's just something about your whole when I'm looking at your face now, and then sometimes how you wear your hair and everything. So did you love Tina Marie, and is that a compliment? Because
It is a compliment. I
she
mean,
was a beast.
yeah. I mean, it totally is a compliment. I mean, she's an icon, but I didn't specifically, listen to her that much, or
Mm-hmm.
follow her music. It
Mm-hmm.
was more like when it would come on the radio or when people
Yeah.
would play it, I would listen to it. But yeah, no, it's amazing compliment. Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Because you're still in your 30s, so I can see, like, it wasn't heavily on the radio with you growing up,
Yeah.
but with my
It was.
generation, it was. I mean, it was heavy. Tina Marie was all over the place, her and Rick James, starting out in the 70s. And that's when I was born. So even, going through elementary school, like, you heard Tina Marie all the time. Like, that was
Yeah.
just, she was everything. But what I did know is that Tina Marie didn't get some of the backlash that you got. And I find that interesting because you hear, white artists saying that they get the backlash. And I wonder what it is, or if it's just the society that we're in now, and everybody is really uber in tune with appropriation, or I'm not sure what it is now, but I know Tina Marie didn't get any of that. She was accepted immediately. And I know you are in a lot of circles because
Yeah.
Black folks ride for you, but you have
Mhm.
fans of all colors and genders.
Yeah, I think that's what it is because the more I go back and watch like videos from the 80s or even the 70s or the 90s, 80s, 70s, um, that was a powerful time. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
everybody was working with each other. Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, We Are the World was like the pinnacle of, you know, cultural oneness, coming together for a healing purpose. I mean,
Can
the
I tell you something real quick before you say?
yeah.
I'm old enough to know that We Are the World was sung at my eighth grade graduation.
Oh, nice. Nice.
That's how
That's
old
epic.
I am.
That is an epic era.
We had to
Like,
sing that, but go ahead.
yeah, no, that's amazing. That's a beautiful memory, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying it was such a powerful time, and I think somewhere in the 2000s, I don't know what changed, but we're supposed to be moving forward. We're supposed to be. It was only supposed to get better. So yeah, it's beyond me, but I agree.
So tell me, many people, like I said, know your music. The people who are your fans, you know, you had fans all over. I remember that whole ambassador thing. You had fans in every city. You had people repping you in every city, and
Mhm.
going down your social media. People love you. People love your music. People love your person. How does that feel when you create a song and people know every single word and they're saying, you know what, that's my jam?
Yes. Oh, that's the best feeling. It's really the best feeling. I mean, that's when people sing your songs, like coming from a true artist, it's not
Mm-hmm.
because people are singing your songs. It's because you are your frequency and the healing frequency you want to put out there is working. And so that's what it is for me, just knowing that, the light that I shine is helping others to shine their light, because that's what it's about. That's what being an artist really is we're here to heal. We're here to help heal
Yeah.
ourselves, because every artist needs healing. I mean, everybody needs healing, but to heal ourselves, and
Yeah.
in turn, I feel like when anybody heals themselves in some aspect, it's helping to heal other people.
Absolutely. I just want to read, just for those that just joined. If you don't know who this is Arika Kane. In 2009, she signed with BSE Recordings and released her self-titled debut album following that year. The third single, Here With Me, reached number 69 on Billboard Hot 100, becoming her first platinum selling single. Erica's second studio album, Substance, was released in 2012, which produced the hits singles Waiting and Fight for Your Life. Throughout her career, as I named before, her songs and her music have been placed on channels like VH1, MTV, television shows like Love and Hip Hop, Basketball Wives, Single Ladies, among others. One of my favorite things that she did, and I told her this before, was VH1's Make It. And that was with the Hollywood Exes and the Atlanta Exes. So you told me once that you already had that song and they commissioned that song and they asked you for that to be the theme of that. Now, with a songwriter, like you said, it heals, and you love when people love your songs. When you already have a song that's amazing and it's so inspirational, so you guys make sure you stream that and listen to the lyrics, because y'all know I'm all about the lyrics and positive lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
But when they say, okay, make it, we want that for Hollywood exes, and then you hear that Eddie Murphy's ex-wife is on there, Will Smith's ex-wife's on there, you know, the other man, I don't even want to mention his name, the talented guy. And then Atlanta Exes, how does that feel when they say, you know what, we love the song and we love it so much that we want this to be the introduction to these shows?
Honestly, I didn't know a whole lot about the show in the beginning because it's kind of like a basic conversation in the format of like, you know, would you be okay if we used, you know, it was basically like some of your music,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in some of our shows. And so I think before Make It was the feature in Love and Hip Hop. I think that was the
Mm-hmm.
first one.
Yeah, it was.
And that was so cool because it was the perfect moment, the perfect scene. And what happened to Love and Hip Hop? It was so good. Like, and they had you know, real musical moments and
Yeah.
special moments, right? And now
Yeah.
it's just it
Like
went left.
everything, it gets watered down because
Oh,
remember, like I'm reminded the people, this was the first of the franchise, and not just
yeah.
on the first um, city, but this was the original cast, the original idea. This was the first
Yeah.
one, and your song was featured there. So that's when it was still pure. That's before
Yep.
people now,
Yeah.
you know, everybody's trying to get that 15 minutes of fame. It hits differently now.
Oh, yeah. It's totally, yeah. Well, I'm glad it happened in the pureness of it all.
Right, right, right. Before the
And
chaos.
then, yes, yes, before the madness.
Right.
Um, yeah, and then, so it was kind of last minute with Make It, and I didn't know much about the show. Um, I think they gave like a brief, you know, description. And then when it came on TV and I saw like exactly what the show was about and how it was about women like stepping out and like shining their light, I was like, I'm getting chills again,
Yeah,
all over
me
again
too, because
because,
it's perfect.
and that made me so happy because I'm like, this is perfect and, oh, just
Yep.
beautiful.
Because let me tell you something. Of course, I already knew who you were. I loved you before, but I didn't. I was anxious to see the show because, like you, I'm all about, you know, women power and girl power and stepping outside of the shadow of the quote unquote, you know, famous husband to make it on their own. And I remember I was excited about the show. I saw the trailers, but when I
Hmm.
sat down to watch it and I heard immediately I knew it was you, and you have one of
Oh,
those
yeah.
voices,
Yeah.
that tone and that softness, but it's still powerful and it hits you, you know, your
Thank
voice.
you.
You're welcome. And when I heard it, I was like, first, that's my jam. Second, I was like,
Right.
what? You know, and you already know my
Yeah.
household loves some Arika Kane. And I was like, my girl, you know, wow. And I thought that that was pretty dope. And like you said, the meaning behind it and how inspirational that song was. Um,
Yes.
I want to switch gears because I wanted this to be different, and I'm glad that we started off the way we did because I didn't want it just to be about the music because you're so dope as a human being. I wanted to make sure people saw that as well.
Yes. Thank you.
I think you're welcome. I think it was last year, it might have been 2 years ago now. You did a remake of Faith Evans' song, "I Love
Yes.
You,"
Yes.
and that's a fan favorite of Faith Evans. And oftentimes people say, well, you know, you don't need to remake a classic or you don't need to remake a song. First, your voice is incredible on that song and the way that it rides that song. It's like made for
Yeah.
you. And I love me some Faith Evans. And she gives it everything she has. And she even goes into that softer register when she does that song.
Mm-hmm.
But that's
Yeah.
your innate register. So what made you
Yes.
decide to want to do that song over?
Because of that.
Oh,
Because yeah, bingo, you hit it. Yes, you win. Yeah, no, it was because of that. I mean, it was just the perfect timbre, the perfect I think my publicist because I've been in a like wave of doing remakes, and whoever has a problem with remakes, get ready because there's a lot coming, and it is what it is. And this is the time that we're in as artists. We're in a weird time in the business where unfortunately nobody really cares too much about your original music. It is what it is. And until we get back to that, doing remakes is actually a way of being creative now. Like, you have to think creatively and think outside the box, and actually doing remakes is kind of your way through this weird era, like this weird time period. And so I think my publicist at the time was like, oh my God, because I've been working on remakes, and it's like, oh my God, what about this one? I was like, oh my God, I used to love this song. I used to always sing this song, and it's perfect for my voice. And
It is.
so that's the reason I did that. Yes.
Yeah, and you did another remake, Love Makes Me a Woman. Love
Mm-hmm.
Makes a Woman. And I want you to share with Tea and Conversation viewers on the original song, because you introduced me to that song. Of course, it has that retro feel, but
Mm-hmm.
I had never heard the original. And you said you heard the original. And tell the story about the lady who created that song. Because after you told me, I went to go research her and her amazing music, and I didn't even really know who she was.
I know, me neither. And the song is what inspired me to understand about her. So her name is Barbara Acklin, and
Mm-hmm.
she was a singer-songwriter in the 60s. I don't remember the exact time period, but she was on Brunswick Records,
Mm-hmm.
which I believe was pretty much competing. Everybody was trying to compete with Motown, which was, almost impossible. But
Difficult, right?
yeah, so that's a reason I think maybe that song didn't get the light that it should have gotten, because when I first heard it on like an oldie station, I was like, how have I know all the mainstream oldies.
Right,
I study music. I'm like, what the heck? This song
right,
is this a different reality? Like, what did I miss? And
right.
it was just it just felt so right in my heart and my spirit, and I'm just like, oh my God, this song needs to live again. And
Yeah.
so that's the reason I did it. And so Barbara Acklin was a songwriter in the 60s, and she really, got respect in the business. Like it was a lot harder back then for women to pave their way through as songwriters, and the ones who actually made money.
Yeah.
So she was a pioneer.
She really was. And I remember when we spoke before, I went to go look her up, and I started going down that rabbit hole, and I was listening to all her music.
Hmm.
I was like, and then, it was another song. I was like, wait a minute, I heard this before. But the name doesn't
Yeah.
stand out with the other artists of the 60s who were doing their thing, especially that Motown, because that Motown era kind of took over, like you said, and it was hard to kind of find your way if you weren't on Motown, or if you didn't start singing background for this artist or that artist. But Love Makes
Right.
a Woman, that is my jam when I have the top down and I'm feeling myself and I'm doing like, yes, it's one of those songs. It's a retro song, but it still stands.
Hmm.
It has that old school vibe, but it still stands today. So
Yeah,
you
because
talk,
it's good music. Everything good lasts forever. So.
yeah, exactly, exactly. And so does, your songs. You, like you said, now people have to be creative, artists have to be creative. And sometimes people are not checking for new music, but when you do a remake, it's almost reinventing yourself. And hey, this is your favorite song, you're familiar with this. Let me put my spin on it. Let me show you, what I can do with it. And it's also paying homage to those artists that we love. And even
Yeah.
though, girl, even your songs, you put out new songs, and I still listen to some of the old ones. I just do,
Yeah.
because they are, I guess, that those staples when it
The
comes to
roots,
Arika
yes,
Kane.
the
Yeah, the
roots.
root of who you are. And I'm still
Yeah.
rocking, you know, every now and then when they come across my my playlist, I'll let you know that I'm listening to you. But I have so many of your
Yeah.
songs on there, and just your voice is very soothing, just like your speaking voice. You know, it's
Thank
very
you.
soothing. You sitting back like you are chilling, and you're exuding, you know, that whole kind of
Yeah.
that energy, and it reflects in your music. So you said that you are working on some remakes. Do you want to share maybe one or two of them that you're working on? Maybe, if you can.
Well, um, I have the list is so long, like I still haven't like dwindled it down because there's so many songs that I would, redo. And every time I hear one, I'm like, oh my God. Even like male singers like that,
Yeah.
Um, so I have a long list. I'm chipping away at it. Like I said, we're in a weird time where being creative and trying to be creative and successful now is literally remaking music.
Mm-hmm.
When creativity is kind of like, the root of creativity is kind of like originality, and that's we'll get back to the natural state of everything. I believe that.
Yeah.
But until that period, this is where we are. So there is a very special remake that I'm releasing in July, and it's a collaboration. It's a duet. I can't say the name. I can't say what song right now because the industry is savage and
Right. Right.
they'll find a way to like put it out, and like Beyonce and somebody will have it out like tomorrow.
Right.
So I won't say the name of the song, but I know you know it very well. I think it was released in 1989, and
That's the year I graduated from high school, so I know that I know that I know the song. I can't wait.
You
Okay,
know it
okay.
well. And so I am collaborating. Well, it's already recorded and being mixed. It's done with Sean Stockman
Of Boys to Men.
of Boys to Men.
I can hear
Yes.
both of your voices together. Oh, I'm
Hmm.
so excited. I'm
Yeah.
so excited. You have to, you know, text me if you can and let me know, you know, what song it is. I won't tell. I definitely won't
It's a
tell.
duet, so it was a big do.
Oh, I
The
think I might know.
I know you know. I know
I
you know.
know. I'm going to text you after this is over
Yeah,
and tell
it
you
was
what
like
I think. It's one
it
of the
was like
biggest duets of that time.
yes.
And I think one other couple did it over.
Really? I didn't.
If I'm
I
if
was
it's if I'm
searching everywhere and I
thinking,
didn't.
so
Okay.
if I'm thinking what I'm thinking, they did. So I will definitely.
Interesting.
So that's a clue, y'all. So it was a big hit in 1989, but this one came out in 88, but it was still riding in 89. The one that I'm thinking of
Okay. So
might
maybe
not be what I'm thinking.
it I think it released in 89. All I know is it played through the night. I know it released in the late 80s. I'm pretty sure it was 89. I could be wrong. I could be mixing that with Secret Garden because we worked so hard on that song on our label. But anyways,
If you are
so
guessing, people, put your guess in the comments. Let me know what you think that remake is, because
yeah.
I might be wrong, because the one I'm thinking of was released in 88. And it was
But
done
I could
over
be
by
wrong
one.
too. I could be wrong with the date. I don't
Well,
know,
we will
but
see.
I think I'm like I know she's gonna when I was thinking about, talking about I'm like she's gonna know. Um I know she's gonna know. It was the biggest duet it was mainstream and it was playing through the 90s, so when
Hmm. And it's still the jam to this day, if it's what I think it is.
mhm.
And a couple, if it is, they did it over. Um, but we'll talk after. I don't want to give too much away, and then someone saying like, "Oh, well, I know what it is. Let me go ahead and record that real quick."
Yeah, yeah.
We don't
It's
want
all
to
right.
do that. So
Yeah.
one of my favorite songs from you, and because of the lyrics, is "Live from Your Heart." That's
Yes.
a song that you have that I just love, because you do live from your heart. You really, really do. And your safe space is right here. Like that space right here in your heart, it exudes to everyone else and everything you do. I know it's not a new song, but can you talk about why you
Yeah.
decided to write that song?
So Live From Your Heart is my favorite masterpiece. It's so
It's a
like
beautiful song.
I even have to listen to it for healing. Like I have to go back and listen to what I, even the songs that I did for, and every single time I hear a line or a lyric and I'm like, oh my God, I did that. Because, I feel like when you're really like a true artist expressing yourself and expressing, what you want to give to the world, and you're truly from your heart, you're not, it's you and God. It's not just
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
You are sending out messages, and it's like it's a channel. It's coming through.
Yeah.
So the more you evolve in life, you go back in time, and I'm like, wow, I really needed to hear that. Like I listened to the song, and I'm like, I really needed to hear that line. Oh my God, like So,
It's
aw,
such a beautiful song. Can you hear it?
oh yes, I know that
Because I have
piano
these
well.
on, so I was like, "Isn't that something?" Just, of course, it's your
Yes,
song, so you should know it.
yeah,
But it's you
yeah,
were like, "Wait a minute," and I couldn't tell if you could hear from my AirPods. But it's such a
yeah.
beautiful song. And can we just talk quickly about the business of streaming and the importance of streaming your music through whatever platform is legal? Can you tell me what that does for an artist, on the business side?
Yeah, well, streaming is really the new the new way of uh, exposure. It's the new, it's the new platform. It took a long time for us artists to get adjusted to that because it was such a transition from, CD to digital. Because my career started when CDs were still the thing. So
Mm-hmm.
I had to go through CDs to downloads to streaming, and so here we are. And so yeah, streaming is really important. It's anything. Listening to my music on Pandora helps. Spotify, Tidal, anywhere they're streaming, YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
All of it helps. The numbers help, the likes help, the comments help. Everything helps at this point. So stream my music everywhere.
Absolutely. I suggest that you do and do yourself a favor, and give yourself a treat. Stream Arika Kane's music, all of it,
Yes.
the old and the new and the future. We can't wait for that duet to come. But I can only imagine as an artist what that is. The transitions, like you said, CDs were out, and then you talk about the artists that cassettes were out or albums were out, and now, vinyl. I got a new record player last year.
Nice.
So I'm starting to collect vinyl. I'm so mad at myself, girl, because I had given all
Why?
of this vinyl to a DJ probably 20 years ago. Now I'm like, dang, I want my
Mm-mm-mm.
vinyl back. But I'm
Mm-mm.
building or rebuilding my vinyl collection. So I
Good.
find it, yes, 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 and I love it because nothing sounds like that, that vinyl feel, that old school
Mm-mm.
feel. It's good. And now a lot of artists are starting to come out with vinyl. Is that in your future plans to have some music on vinyl, or do you?
I don't currently, but yes, it's in my future plans. I mean, like I mentioned before, we're gonna get back to our natural state in music, in movie. I'm claiming it. Okay,
Yes,
in
yes,
music, in movies,
yes.
in life, in nature, in everything. Like it doesn't necessarily mean we're going backwards in time, but
Mm-hmm.
a lot of substance.
Yeah, yeah, substance.
Substance.
See, you got to be a fan to know what she's talking about. That's one of her albums, Substance. Come on.
Yes. Um, so much substance has been stripped away from so many, parts of life, parts of society, and we're going to get back there. So, yes, I will definitely be doing vinyl in the future. And, let's go back to merchandise. Let's go back
Yes.
to, shows. Let's go back to real, tangible exchanges and tangible experiences. And, it's going to happen.
Yeah,
It's going to happen.
it is. And are you, before we end, we have a couple of minutes. Are you going to do a virtual concert? What's up, Arika? You going to do a virtual thing going on?
Well, it's funny because I'm actually getting calls for actual shows in person.
Okay.
So it's like,
Yeah,
because
things are coming back.
things are starting to open up. So I think in the fall, we talked with Sean, me and my label talked with Sean about once the song is out, because he's on tour right now with Boyz II Men, and then he's doing his own solo tour. So I may do, open for him, and we may perform together the song. I almost said
The
it.
song. The song.
I almost said it. And there's, there'll be other shows coming up starting this fall. So I think I just kind of rode the wave. I did so much inner work and inner healing,
That's so important.
through this whole, pandemic, that it was like just self-care, total self-care.
And that's what fuels you as a person, as an artist. So I think that was the right move, to focus on that. And God had us be still for a purpose and a reason. And hopefully, everyone watching got that reason. It wasn't to do more stuff. It was really to kind of sit back and do your self-work. And as a life coach, I think that's so, so very important, because it makes you a better human, and of course a better artist. Arika, I can talk to you forever.
I know.
Forever.
It's over.
I know, but I want to have you on my YouTube show. So remember the show that you were on before, Kendéll Lenice Live, right? So that was the interview series, and that was season 1. But season 2, I made a twist. It's Kendéll Lenice, the interview series. So we're talking about yes.
That's my jam.
Yes,
that's my jam.
Exactly. So it's all about this. It's not about titles and what you do and who you are. It's about healing. It's about growth. It's everything that you and I are about. So I just did my first episode earlier this week, and it was so powerful. So it's the interview series. So I'm definitely going to have you.
That's dope.
You
I like the
there.
twist on that. That's nice.
Thank you.
Right. And the T in Konversation with the K. I like that too. I see what you're doing. I love it.
But I love you. I love you so much. Thank you so much. And so do you. And I hope that you're going to be coming to Maryland soon, so I can give you a big old hug and see a show and see what you're doing on this new duet. So I can be there like, this is it. We're talking about it.
Yes.
So tell the people how they
we
can
definitely
get in. Go ahead.
I was just saying, we definitely have to hang out too. So
yes, we definitely have to hang out, because we got to do some loving and some hugging and some just some sisterhood conversations and all of the stuff that we do virtually. We got to do it in person. Someone said that they're going to check your name out on Pandora. Great job, ladies. So, of course, you got a lot of love on here. Tell the people quickly how they can connect with you on social media and where they can stream your music. I know you mentioned a few places earlier.
Yeah, so here on Instagram at Arika Kane with an A, just in case, Arika Kane, and also Twitter, Facebook, arikakane.com. And my music, you can download or stream Amazon, iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, Pandora, everywhere. It's everywhere. And I have new music coming up. And I'm just going to throw in here, as much as I'm working on doing remakes, I've also been producing and songwriting, doing some pretty big songwriting things. And I am working on original music as well. So I am going to put out original music in the near future as well. So I got a bunch of things at once.
See, and you see this humble spirit, this beautiful soul. She's not going to pump you up. She's not going to pump herself up. I'm going to pump her up. She's a pretty dope chick. She's very accomplished in this music industry. She's very respected. She's worked with some amazing people. You know, she's been the only woman on what, Babyface? Was it Babyface? Brian McKnight. Was it Brian McKnight?
Charlie Wilson.
Charlie Wilson.
Frankie Mays. Yeah.
She's worked. People know who she is. So if you're just discovering her for the first time, you are in for a treat. She is very talented as a songwriter, as a singer, and a producer. So please be on the lookout for that new duet with Sean Stockman of Boys to Men in July, and all her other work. In the meanwhile, please stream everything that she has, because you're not only supporting an amazing artist, you're supporting an amazing woman. And this is my sister, Miss Arika Kane.
Thank you, my sister. Oh my God, I love you. I'm so happy we connected. Thank you.
Yes, I love you too. I can't wait to see you and give you a big old hug.
Yeah, it's time. It's time.
Yes, it is.
We have to feel alive again, you know?
Yes. So everybody, this is Tea and Conversation. Hold up your
Cheers.
strawberry lemonade.
Cheers. Have a beautiful day, everybody.
Bye. You too. I'm going to text you in a minute. Love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. And I'm glad that I was able to introduce you. Someone said, listen to Why Did We Fall in Love? She's just discovering you. Bae Loves God. She's just discovering you for the very first time. And I love it.
Thank you.
I love it. And you have some new followers saying that they're going to follow you. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for watching.
Thank you. Sending love. Thank you, sister.
Love you. Love you.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.